Here we go again. I mean, this is the truth show, and there's more. Oh, I'm not done yet. Oh, and there's more. Oh, I'm not done yet. I mean, this is the truth show. Oh, yes.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Truth Show. Hello, my truth seekers. How y'all doing? Yes, Edna, you're the first person, girl. Congratulations. How does it feel to be the first? Yeah. Nice. How is everyone doing this Thursday at 5:31? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I'm doing good, Andrew. I haven't seen you. Where have you been, girl? Where you been hiding out? Good, good, good. Y'all ready for a really crazy packed show? Did y'all watch my last live show? I hope y'all watched my last live show because I will be referencing things from that show. So I hope you guys took the time to actually watch that particular show because I'm going to be bringing up some stuff. Are you doing chores? Okay. Well, try not to work too hard, honey. I got some chores that needs to be done over here. I've been very lazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why. I've just been lazy. I don't know. Maybe it's depression. Nah, I don't get depressed, but you know, I do get lazy though. But I don't get depressed. That I can honestly say. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. I guess I can do other things later. I was just gonna post a live show on the thing, but let me do that now. Just tying up some loose ends here. All right. Let's get this party started. Okay, here we go. Oops. There we go. Okay, fantastic. Okay, want to say, first of all, I have no makeup on. I guess I should get more glammed up, but I don't feel like getting glammed up. My hair is seriously just pushed back. I just pushed it back. It's dry and stuff. I have on another quoted shirt. You guys want to see the quoted shirt? That's pretty much what it is. That's all I wear. Well, I don't wear that. I just wear that, you know, in these live shows. I was going to put my headband on because I didn't want to wear the hat, but people are starting to wear the headband now. So I was like, okay, now I can't wear the headband that I used to. People are starting to wear headband. I got to come up with a new style, something, because I want to continue wearing a hat. But, you know, advertise. These are my logos, so I have to advertise. Oh, thank you, Indra. Hi, Queen Sheba. How you doing? Okay. Make sure I hit the like button and share. Just want to say hello to my truth seekers. Welcome to the Truth Show. My name is Keisha. In today's show, I will be talking about Donald Trump ambushing an African leader. What an embarrassment for our country. Your boy, he's not my fucking boy. He ambushed an African leader. Yes, he did. With no confirmed proof. We're gonna start. Thank you. So are you. Thank you. And we're gonna literally get into the reasons why, because I'm seeing there's a lot of back and forth and rumors, but you know me, I always go deep, and I'm gonna tell you guys why this ambush. Okay. Oh, and then Trump is trying to pass barbaric laws and new rules. And then there's Diddy kidnapping with, the Kid Cudi and Cassie situation and the trial. We're going to talk about that. And then you guys can still hear me, correct? I know this always happens to me. Can y'all hear me now? I'm just gonna pull it up on my phone. Let's see. Told you. I don't know how many times I gotta tell you my stuff is act. I'm telling you. This is not me doing this. I'm telling you. Okay, looks like I'm back on. Okay. All right, anyway. Okay, so I was going to talk about, some gods and goddesses, but I don't want to mix history with this. So my next show will be about talking about the gods and goddesses, not gods and gods, but goddesses and female pioneers from the past that were forgotten. Because it's time we bring our female pioneers and goddesses into the forefront. Yes, it's time we talk about them, and we're going to talk about them, okay? In my next show. And if you guys want to come up and give your own indication, I'll try to bring a guest too. Because there's one lady I want to bring that I met on TikTok. I want to bring her on here, see if I get in contact with her. Okay. All right. So the moving on here. Here's your warnings.
Please note that this is all alleged. I've never met any of these people. I've deeply researched all of my information. This is a trigger warning. In this video, I may be talking about or showing sensitive material about some subjects or topics that may be disturbing or upsetting or may bring forth some troubling memories, as you read in the description or title. With that said, either end the video now or brace yourself. Aside from that, enjoy.
All right, fantastic. Okay, we're going to start this off with politics and world news. All right. First up, we are going to talk about the South African leader, President Cyril. I believe his name is Cyril. Yeah. Let me make sure his name is actually pronounced that way, because you know me, I be butchering names. I used to teach back in the day. I used to teach theater, because I love directing and stuff. So I used to teach theater class and stuff like that. And I, for the life of me, cannot remember everyone's names. So I used to have my star pupil take attendance. I knew the faces, but I didn't know the names. So I used to have her take attendance because I couldn't remember people's names. It's crazy. I couldn't remember people's names. I'm terrible with names. Cyril. His name is South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. Walked into an ambush when he met President Trump in the Oval Office on yesterday. Now, Trump, he met with the South African president amid deteriorating relations after a cordial beginning, they were cordial, shooting the breeze, whatever, where Ramaphosa was at pains to stress his desires to improve relations with the United States. Things turned hostile, like trading and tariff. Trump has been a bully when it comes to tariff. So they was talking about tariffs and trading, business, like in golf. They was going to get into that. A business meeting, whatever. But, Trump got to have everything televised. And you don't see, this is the mind of a narcissistic maniac because he likes to show how tough he is. Everything that's happening does not need to be televised. This meeting could have just been private in a regular business setting. They have plenty of them in the White House, but Trump got to have everything televised because he's a narcissistic son of a bitch. Hate him. Anyway, so in the midst of him thinking this is a in the midst of him thinking it's just a normal meeting, Trump repeated false claims of a white genocide in South Africa and their government. Even though it was fictitious and it wasn't true, but the mere fact that he feels that he has business to bring that up here in America and their government, which is completely separated from ours. They are not connected to us in any way in government. They're their own independent country. Okay, this is not Canada. This is not Ukraine. This is not London. There's no government connected with South Africa at all. They're independent. Okay, so this son of a bitch felt the need to bring it up because, white power, or so to speak, even though it's not his business, and it wasn't true. So in South Africa, he claimed there was genocide, and then he ordered the lights to be dimmed. This is the live conference, which should have been behind closed doors without an audience, but Trump likes an audience. He likes to show off. So he ordered the lights dimmed to play videos he said supported his allegation. This is the fucking president of the United States. This is an ambush. Now, Ramaphosa attempted to correct the U.S. leader, Cyril Ramaphosa, to correct the U.S. leader, but mostly, as usual, he got talked over. He explained the videos of the opposition politician Julius Malema singing a apartheid era struggling song called Kill the Boer, which means farmer of Afrikaner, did not represent government policy, which means this person is not in his government policy, which means he's not a government official of their government. This is an opposed person. He's in opposition of their government. In fact, Malema is a populist who was expelled from Ramaphosa's African National Congress Party. So he was expelled for doing this exact thing. Now, Malema's Economic Freedom Fighters Party won just 9% of the vote of the national elections last year. So it didn't even win for him to bring this into fruition of their government. And he stated they are a small minority party, Ramaphosa said. Trump then asked why Malema wasn't arrested. I gotta calm down. Thinking like a leader. I am the president of my fucking country. Think how he gotta be fucking thinking as a man in general. You are the president of this fucking country. Don't suggest what I should do in my fucking country. I came here for partnership, for deals, not for you to dictate and critique and give your judgment on my fucking country, because we can go okay? America is no better. Matter of fact, America's worse, and I stand America. So Malema he was put on the spot. But, he didn't fold at all. So Trump felt the need. Why wasn't he arrested? Because he felt that he had the power to ask that fucking question for something that has nothing to do with him. But whatever. Malema, this is what he said. He said it has been taking court over the song that they made up about, kill the Boer, a racist song. But South Africa Constitution allows freedom of speech. So you can't tell them not to sing something because It's freedom of speech. If you want to sing the stupid fucking song, let him sing the stupid fucking song. He's not bothering anyone. They're just words. If you want to arrest him for singing a song I don't like, that's racially motivated or whatever, is not my business, which is the same rules here in America. Now, asked by reporters if he condemned the singing of the historical song, Ramaphosa said he did. Trump is already having his people gang up on this man. He was not expecting this. This is a serious, unexpected ambush. Yeah, Elon Musk, JD Vance, all his little phonies to ambush this man like he's some mob boss on national television. If I was a leader, I wouldn't even meet with him ever again because you don't know if there's going to be cameras around. I wouldn't meet with him ever again. Ever. Leaders, don't come here and meet with Trump. Fuck him. Let him come to your goddamn country. Yeah, don't come here anymore to meet with him. Seriously, let this reach the airways. Don't even come here because he is not equipped or intelligent enough to have a diplomatic, professional freaking meeting. He's a malignant, narcissistic psychopath. He got to have his shine. He's not even a real blonde. Okay, that's the part that I'm still trying to grasp where his blonde hair fucking come from. Anyway, so Trump also played a video that he said was a burial site of the murdered white farmers. I can't believe I just coughed in my hand. I'm so sorry. Completely unexpected. Of a burial site of murdered white farmers. Ramaphosa said, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. He said, have they told you where this is? I'd like to know where this is. South African media are reporting that the video of white crosses is likely one that has been making the rounds on social media for years, and it's probably a memorial site. Trump, he's up here dictating and critiquing another country that he has no business critiquing. Whatever crime that goes on there, unfortunately, people are dying regardless of race. It's none of his fucking business. But he felt the need to put his input in a country like he's the president of this fucking country. I'd be like, why are you telling me and asking me about shit that goes on in my motherfucking country? This is my country. This is the part I'm still trying to grasp why he felt the need to even ask about this shit. So Trump then showed the press copies of articles claiming that proved white farmers were being murdered. He flipped through them one by one, saying death of people, death, 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 horrible death, death, death. Yeah. Ramaphosa agriculture minister John Steenhuisen, who is white, also tried to explain the facts to Trump, as did the South African richest man and a friend of Ramaphosa, business mogul, who was also there, Johan Rupert, who is also white. While South Africa does suffer from height, this is what he said. Because, Trump, he feels the need to critique because he thinks he's the king of the fucking universe. Yeah. Yeah. While South Africa does suffer, that's what he said. He said, while South Africa does suffer from high crime rates, Black people bear the brunt of that violent crime. Police statistics are not broken down by race. They're not breaking down like our stats is, primary Negroes and Blacks are the most criminals in the United States and Caucasians are the angels of whatever. That is not how they break down the statistics in their freaking country. Although the statistics here will say that Caucasians are primarily the ones who are the most violent and arrested and guilty of these violent crimes. And 20% of the Black people in jail are innocent. But that's deep diving for me. Those are the statistics here in America. They don't do statistics there. But he said police statistics are not broken down by race. But in the last quarter of 2024, there were 12 murders linked to farming communities. But get this, that included farm workers who were likely Black. So of the 12 farmers, most of them were Black farmers who were being murdered. That completely went over Trump's head. Yeah, because I'm going to tell you why. These are mostly opportunistic attacks like robberies because of farms' isolated locations. Take a look at these clips and then we'll talk.
burial sites, over 1,000 of white farmers.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen. If there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can, my Minister of Agriculture.
We have thousands of stories talking about it. So we have documentaries, we have news stories. And
This is an
I can tell
embarrassment
you
for our
a couple of
country.
things. It has to be responded to. So, excuse me, turn the lights down. Burial sites, over 1,000 of white farmers. Those people were all killed.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen.
These are articles over the last few days. Death of people. Death. Horrible death. Death. I don't know. Pick anyone. White South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. White South African couples say that they were attacked violently.
President Trump, why don't you go and see for yourself if it is?
Well, I can do that. Look, here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried.
This is a fucking embarrassment. Now, listen, look at this one.
The dramatic scene in the Oval Office today, the tense confrontation, President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa. The president of South Africa there to talk trade and to try to reset relations between the U.S. and South Africa. President Trump at one point calling for the lights to be dimmed and playing a video, and then showing a stack of papers that he said were articles proving a white genocide. The president of South Africa denying the unsubstantiated claims, at one point saying to President Trump, "I'm sorry, I don't have a plane to give you." Here's Mary Bruce.
Tonight, an extraordinary scene in the Oval Office. President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa with false claims the nation is engaged in genocide against white farmers. President Cyril Ramaphosa said he came to the White House to discuss trade.
We are essentially here to reset the relationship between the United States and South Africa.
But Trump had other ideas.
A lot of people are very concerned with regard to South Africa, and that's really the purpose of the meeting.
The president insists white South African farmers are being persecuted and murdered on a mass scale. Unproven claims that have been amplified by Elon Musk, a native of South Africa. Though Trump's administration has banned all refugees, they are now making an exception for one group, white South Africans. A plane load arriving in the U.S. just last week.
We have had a tremendous number of people, especially since they've seen this. Generally, they're white farmers, and they're fleeing South Africa.
Reporters asking Trump what it will take to convince him there is no genocide. The South African president jumping in.
What would it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for President. It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends.
But Trump, with the cameras rolling,
Turn the lights down.
dimming the lights to present what he claims is evidence. Showing clips of extremists calling for violence, then leafing through articles he says prove it's happening.
Death.
I can't believe he did this.
Death.
I can't believe he did this.
Horrible death. Death. I don't know.
This is embarrassing.
Pick anyone. White South Africans
It's like a
are
reality
fleeing
show.
because of the violence and racist laws.
There is a crime problem in South Africa, but there is no evidence it is racially motivated or amounts to genocide. White people make up only 7% of the country, but own the vast majority of its farmland. Ramaphosa adamant that the video does not represent his government.
There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately, through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people.
South Africa's president then joking that he wishes he could be like Qatar and gift Trump a luxury jet.
I'm sorry, I don't have a plane to give you.
I wish you did.
That was my game.
I wish I
And tonight, the spokesman for the South African president telling us of the confrontation, quote, "It was expected. We knew that whenever heads of state come to the White House, you get a bit of a show." And again, David, he insisted there is no genocide in South Africa. David.
Mary Bruce at the White House. House. Mary, thanks again.
Can you believe this shit? Seriously. And there's more. Because it gets deeper. It gets deeper. Yeah. You guys have to understand how this came about. Okay? Elon Musk. Yeah. As you saw in that video, Trump embarrassed us with these false claims about government in another country that has nothing to do with us. I mean, they're not heaping harm on us, but oh my gosh, the freaking thousands of years of genocide has been pretty much brought upon my people for fucking thousands of years. Who cares? But soon as a bit of hint of false claims, by the way, of genocide on white people, oh my gosh, it's a global freaking goddamn problem. You know what? He's trying to racially divide this country. He's trying to have a race war or whatever the fuck he's trying to do. It's not working, but that's not the only thing he's trying to do. You see, African leader Cyril Ramaphosa thought they were going to talk about business and golf. Trump ambushed him like a mob boss with bitter Elon Musk, who's been very bitter. You see, Elon Musk was the one who has been vocal about the frustrations with South Africa, particularly regarding its Black economic empowerment, also known as BEE laws. These laws require companies operate in the country to have at least 30% of Black ownership. This is something they're trying to do, which is pissing Elon Musk off because he's losing so much money here. He's trying to go overseas now because apparently being a billionaire is just not enough for the son of a bitch. So which Musk has criticized discriminatory. Oh, but they can discriminate against my people, but their people, and I hate saying this, but this is what they're thinking. I think we all should be treated equally. There is no racial stigma going on in this fucking show. But he feels that his people are just great and they should be honored and always, I don't know, looked upon because they're the descendants of gods and goddesses, so they claim, even though they can't handle the sun. He also expressed anger over South Africa's land expropriation bill, which allows the government to take private land for public use without compensation in certain cases, which is something they implement here in America during civil rights times when Blacks did pretty much own predominantly of 70% of the farmlands. And after civil rights times, we barely own 10 or 15% because they took a lot of our ancestors' farms illegally and without cause and for no reason. But now that the table's been flipped, there is a huge fucking problem. It's discriminatory. Now, Musk has gone far as claiming that a white genocide is taking place in South Africa, he's starting all this shit, referencing farm murders and political rhetoric from figures like Julius Malema, the leader of economic freedom fighters, which is also known as EFF. However, South African courts have dismissed these claims as clearly imagined and not real. Now, his frustration has also extended to Starlink because now he's saying you don't want to have Starlink in there because you guys are racist. His satellite internet service, which has struggled to obtain a license in South Africa because all the shit and drama he caused when he's down there. They don't like him down there. All he does is cause chaos and havoc. He don't want to do just business. He want to take over the entire area. This is Elon Musk. So he want to obtain license in South Africa due to the BE requirements. Now, Musk has argued that these laws prevent him from operating in the country simply because he is not Black. So he's saying, because I'm not Black, I can't do business here. I can't make millions and billions here. Everybody else want me. Why can't you guys want me too? This is what Elon Musk is thinking. Yeah. So now you see who was behind this, who is really running Trump in our country and starting all this bullshit. It was freaking Elon Musk. Elon Musk was the one who started this whole fucking thing. This whole thing, he started it. All he's done in this damn country is cause chaos and havoc and dividing and inequality. And so much he's trying to start segregation. He's dividing this fucking country. He's helped igniting the racist people to be freelance, to do whatever the fuck they want. he's acting like a terrorist. And I thought we don't negotiate with terrorists. He rigged the election. He has a seat in our government without having proper education or been voted in. But no one's saying shit. He can walk in the White House and do whatever he wants. No one gives a shit. Some can be getting stolen. Who cares? Some getting stolen. It's Elon Musk. He's the god of our gods. He has the lead right to do what he wants. But our government officials have not talked about this. Some has to be done about Elon Musk, or we all gonna be fucking screwed. Oh, yes. Oh, and that video presented was a tribute to 2 farmers killed in 2020, rather than a proof of widespread violence. And I'm still not done yet. It seems this ambush worked, and Musk has been granted exception. Get this. After he lied about the crap that was going on in South Africa, helped organize an ambush towards his African leader, he gets exactly what the fuck he wants. So Musk has been granted exception of South Africa's Black Economic Empowerment, known as BEE, laws, allowing his Starlink service to operate in the country despite the previous regulatory hurdles. This decision comes ahead of the meeting between Ramaphosa and Trump, which could be an attempt to ease tensions. But I think dude just got scared, or they really need the money. And I wouldn't, you know what? I wouldn't have gave, I still wouldn't have done shit. Matter of fact, he would have pissed me off more. I would revoke his visa and tell him he's not allowed in my motherfucking country. Seriously, I would have been so mean. Fuck that. How dare you lie on my country, ambush me while we here with these fictitious lies, and then you want to do business with me? No, hell no. Kiss my ass. That's what I would have said. So the ambush worked, and Musk once again got his fucking way. I'm so disappointed they gave in. How are we supposed to upstand our morality? Okay? And our dignity and what we stand for. This is called Black economic growth, or what the fuck it's called. And you gave in to his pressure because of media. What kind of leader would do that? I still wouldn't have done a damn thing. This news will fade with the next crap Trump will cock up. I mean, I can't. This is crazy. So you see Musk, you see what this means? You see what this is going to do? Musk influence over South Africa policies decision, especially regarding Starlink's exemption from the Black economic empowerment laws, demonstrate how powerful individuals can pressure now. This is what the stigma and the reputation he's going to get for allowing Musk to get what he wants after ambushing him on live television. Okay? It demonstrates how powerful individuals can pressure governments, shape economic regulations, diplomacy, and public narratives in ways that could have long-term global implications. Bad idea. Didn't the leader know how much power they had over Musk? For the mere fact that Musk had to stoop to these lows shows who was really in control. You literally had him by the neck. He had to stoop to fictitious lies, bombarding his old fucking high school tricks just to get what he wanted, and you caved. You were winning. Musk is still losing money, even with the flip of the tariffs and Trump giving in to the old agreement with China that Biden implemented. You had him by the neck, and you gave in. You let, it's supposed to be Black economic, and you let him in because he ambushed you on national television? Oh my gosh. Big mistake. Big, huge. This is going to stay president for everything. If you want to get what you want, just ambush the fucking African leader, spread fictitious lies, and he'll give in. Sure. Whatever. You know, I'm done with that freaking subject because I'm getting pissed off by the second. So Donald Trump, here's some videos here. Because remember, he claimed there was genocide going in South Africa. Let's go ahead and dive a little deeper into that. And then we go into y'all little celebrity talk that y'all so fucking obsessed with. And then we'll go from there.
Donald Trump just got called out to his face by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa in the Oval Office. Now, the two leaders are meeting today to discuss the claims that Donald Trump has made about South Africa, specifically what's happening to certain farmers there. At one point, Donald Trump was asked, what would it take to convince you that these stories aren't true? And before Trump could respond, Ramaphosa jumped in and said this.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans.
Yeah, it will take Donald Trump listening. And that was the theme of this entire meeting. Donald Trump has been constantly trying to insist that these things are happening in South Africa. He has accused the president of being behind this. Sometimes he doesn't. And each time the South African president pushes back and he says, look, we need to have a dialogue. We need to have a talk. At one point, he invoked Nelson Mandela. He has been very calm about it, but taking subtle jabs like this, and I say that's well done.
Unbelievable. And here is the people of South Africa, and here's what they have to say.
We do not have a genocide in South Africa.
This South African farmer wants to set the record straight. He wrote an open letter to US President Donald Trump after Trump offered Afrikaner farmers refugee status.
But it's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about. But it's a terrible thing that's taking place. And farmers are being killed. They happen to be white.
The first group of 59 Afrikaners traveled to the US in early May. It has raised questions about why a group of white South Africans of Dutch and French descent are being granted refugee status when the Trump administration has stopped all other refugee programs. DELUXE represents a large farmer organization which has members across South Africa. He says while it's true that farm murders are a major problem, Trump hasn't got the facts straight.
I wrote the letter to Trump because I feared that he might have a misunderstanding of what is going on here. We thanked him for having sympathy with our cause, but we also said, rather help us to make things better here. Help us to, within our lifetime, fix the problems we have here. And it's not only a race thing. Black farmers have similar problems too, and we need those problems also to be attended to.
Trump's genocide claims are a result of brutal attacks on farmers in South Africa. Most of the murders happened during armed robberies. There's a large memorial at Nampo, South Africa's largest farming expo, dedicated to farm murders. It contains around 2,800 names, going as far back as the 1970s. One thing that stands out about this event is the diversity. We've seen many Afrikaners, but we've also seen many Black people in attendance. This memorial includes the names of Black farmers who were victims of farm murders, debunking the idea that it's a crime that only affects white people.
As you see, you heard what she just said. That memorial is majority of Black farmers who were killed, not white farmers. You see how they was lying? Yeah.
And those we spoke to say while they are concerned about farm murders, they don't want to leave South Africa.
If people want to do it, I think it's a good idea. It gives them an option out if they want. But I personally would not do it. This is my country. And that is something that Mandela fought for, is for freedom for all.
I cannot really say there's a genocide in South Africa. The only thing that is happening is it's a crime in general. You know, in every country, in every places, we do have crimes, irrespective of race, you know. So I think the genocide issue is exaggeration.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And here is what the his name is Mehmet Viva DAG, whatever. He's some president of somewhere in high government there.
Donald Trump.
Oh, he's pissed. Oh, he hate fucking Trump. I mean, he's pissed. Seriously, like, live it.
As South African white, as South African politician, I'm warning you. You have no say in our beautiful country. So shut the fuck up now. Don't come and intervene into our internal affairs. South Africa is an independent country. We are a free country. And you, as American dictator, have no say in this beautiful country. So shut the fuck up now.
That's what I'm saying. I just said that. Like, why does he feel he has the need to even critique or have a say-so in their country? He has no power in their country. Think he could just say some shit? Are you fucking kidding me? This part I can't grasp around. Like, why do you feel you even have a? I mean, for real, are we living in an alternate universe? I would think I don't know why you feel that you can even have the opportunity or the privilege to even say something. What does this man think? He really think he's the king of the freaking universe? Y'all MAGA people have seriously swollen this man's head. Now I'm gonna breeze through these topics right quick. Donald Trump planned to annihilate the Department of Education, but it was blocked by the Supreme Court. Yeah, Donald Trump makes my people richer and throws some bread crumbs to the peasant, barely passed the House, but it still has to pass the Senate. It won't. U.S. President Donald Trump administration revoked Harvard University ability to enroll international students on Thursday, and it's forcing existing students to transfer to other schools or lose their legal status, while also threatening to expand the crackdown to other schools. However, if there are legitimate reasons under the law and proper procedures are allowed or followed, the government can revoke a university certification. But if the action is arbitrary, retaliatory, or violates due process rights, it could be challenged in court, which means he doesn't have a legal right to do that without due process. Remember, Trump thinks he's the king of the universe and laws do not apply to him. So in summary, while the government generally has the authority to enforce laws related to international student enrollment, whether the specific action was lawful depends on whether proper legal procedures were followed and whether the reasons cited were legally justified. Courts can review such actions if challenged, which means they can take him to court if this thing goes through and they start implementing it. In other words, he doesn't have a legal right to do this. Just sum it the fuck up. Thank you. Now, the Trump Department of Homeland Security, Secretary Noam doesn't know what habeas corpus is. Just in case some of you in my whatever don't know what habeas corpus is, let me give you an education of habeas corpus. Are you guys still with me? Please put me in the comment section. Make sure you guys are with me. Which is an arrested person's right to claim and or secure their innocence and rights before the judge or court, before any release or any punishment. This is called a habeas corpus. This term is rooted in Europe. Now that you know what it means, take a look at this.
Here in the Constitution, does it say that the Secretary of State can override the First Amendment protections of free speech? Is there a footnote that I missed?
There's
somewhere?
no constitutional right to a student visa.
So, but is there a constitutional right? Does it say somewhere that Marco Rubio gets to determine which speech is appropriate and revoke student visas based on what you think constitutes free speech?
There's a statute that says the Secretary of State gets to determine whether someone is a threat. We deny visas every day.
Do you think that the Immigration and Nationality Act trumps the Constitution of the United States, Mr. Secretary?
Well, Congress can always change the law if they want, but I'm telling you, I will continue to revoke the visas of these people.
You said that, Mr. Secretary. Let me reclaim my time because you are talking about revoking student visas based on what somebody says, and that means that you are trumping the legal Supreme Court, the supreme law of the land, which is the Constitution of the United States.
No one has
why did the administration, Mr. Rubio, why did the administration need to use masked, armed, unidentified agents to whisk somebody off the street and deny her counsel for almost 24 hours after her
Well, you'll
arrest?
have to ask the agencies that did that work.
Well,
I'm not responsible. That I'm responsible for revoking the visas of these people that come
Secretary
to tear this country
Rubio,
apart.
I'm talking about this particular case where you revoked the student visa of a Turkish citizen who was a graduate student who wrote an op-ed that you didn't like. And suddenly you allowed for masked men to whisk her off the street. And you have multiple jobs. Apparently, you're the national security advisor as well. So don't tell me it's not your job who snatches her off the street.
You don't do the snatching, but I can tell you we do the visa revocations.
Let me ask you about the national security consequences of masked men on the street snatching people off the streets. If these are legitimate law enforcement agents carrying out proper arrests, why are they hiding their identities?
Because then radical crazies will try to hurt them.
So you think that U.S. agents who have almost always gone without face coverings, even when they're arresting some of the country's most dangerous criminals, suddenly have so much to fear from a graduate student who wrote an op-ed that they need to be masked? Is that
That law
accurate?
student was a guest in the United States on a student visa. No one's entitled to a student visa.
So you
We deny
revoked her
visas every
student
day,
visa
and we will
on
revoke and
based
continue
on
to
an
revoke
op-ed
visas.
which trumps the supreme law of the land, which is the Constitution.
Someone's coming up
You
here to stir
clearly-
up problems on our campus. We're going to revoke their visa.
She didn't
They're
do any of that. She wrote an op-ed.
Well,
She
that's
wrote
what
an
you're
op-ed,
claiming.
and I'm talking to you about her
That's her
particular
lawyer's
case.
claims and your
You
claims. Those are
reclaimed.
not the facts.
a jerk.
Reclaiming my time. You revoked her student visa
Yes,
because you
proudly.
wrote an op-ed.
Can you just say
Would
that?
you
We're
revoke?
going to do more of
I
them.
have another question for you. Would you revoke the visa of someone in the United States who published claims that quote Jews are an untrustworthy and dangerous group? Yes or no?
We will revoke the visa of anyone who's in this country as a guest.
Are
who's
you
here
are
to
you
stir up
going to
trouble.
revoke the visa of somebody who made
I mean,
that?
the case,
that-
look at it.
that statement?
I'm looking
Well,
to get crazy people
Actually,
out of our
it's not
country.
just about revoking.
Forward
You
to
actually,
revoking the visas
Secretary
of any
Rubio,
lunatics you
excuse
can
me,
identify.
reclaiming my time. Can you explain to me why the Trump administration granted refugee status to Charles Kleinhaus, the white Afrikaner who tweeted that exact statement that I just said? There's the case.
That's not a
You
visa.
granted that person
That's
to
a
enter the
totally
United
different
States.
process. That's someone that applied here through a totally different process. Student
Secretary Rubio,
visas are a privilege.
Secretary
we deny them
Rubio,
all the time. and we'll
you
revoke them.
revoked
And-
a visa based on an op-ed, and then you allowed for
Titillated
masked
time has
men
expired.
to
That's your
snatch
claim. That's
somebody off
accurate. That's
the
your claim.
street.
That's
Time
your
expired.
claim. That's your claim. That's not accurate.
Wow. So he's basically saying we could have the right to revoke any freaking citizenship, whether they're in this country legally and have been here legally, working, doing school, have not committed a crime. If they are prejudiced against you, if they don't like you, they want to have the legal right to revoke your citizenship without cause. That is what Trump and his fucking cronies are basically saying. If that went over your head, ladies and gentlemen, that is what he is saying. Are you guys understanding this? Do y'all know how serious this is? I don't think y'all know how serious this is. I think you guys are probably asleep or not understanding, but that's how serious this shit is. Straight up. Now. Oh, I'm not done yet. Now, Trump, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Noam, this is what I was talking about before I showed you that, didn't know what a habeas corpus was. As you see there, that's what it is, which is an arrested person right to claim and or secure their innocence and rights before a judge or court, before any release or any punishment. This is not copied from Google. This is just from what I know. Know from school, know from reading books, and know from watching a lot of law TV shows and movies. They talk about this shit all the fucking time, but we're talking about idiots here. Take a look at this clip.
So, Secretary, Noam, what is habeas corpus?
Don't even know what
Well,
it
habeas
is.
corpus is a constitutional right that the
It's not a
president has
constitutional
to
right.
be able to remove people from this country and
let
suspend
me stop you, ma'am.
suspend their right
Habeas
to.
corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
President
Habeas
Lincoln
corpus,
used it.
excuse me.
Mhm.
Habeas corpus is the legal principle
Mhm.
that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people. If not for that protection, the government could simply arrest people, including American citizens, and hold them indefinitely for no reason.
There you go. Now, let's move on to the section you guys were losing your mind over, which is celeb gossip. This is what y'all want. This is what y'all been waiting for, celeb gossip. So let's get started on the celeb gossip. Kiki has officially entered the building. So let's do this. Okay. Getting to the celeb gossip for you guys because that's what y'all want to watch. That's what y'all want to see. That's what y'all pretty much came here for. All right, Chris Brown. Here's a little video of him being freed, and then we'll talk.
Thank you very much.
It'll cost him $6 million. All right, so yes, Chris Brown has been released from jail in the UK after posting a $6.7 million fucking bail. Completely over. What they gonna do with $6.7 million? I'm just curious. What are they going to do with $6.7 million fucking dollars? So he was arrested on May 15th. Excuse me for a moment. Okay, so he was arrested on May 15th in Manchester on charges of grievous bodily harm related to an alleged nightclub assault in 2023. Initially denied bail, he was later granted release on May 21st, allowing him to continue his upcoming Breezy tour. His bail conditions require him to surrender his passport when not traveling and keep authorities informed of his whereabouts. Meaning Chris Brown must live at the UK address, surrender his passport as part of his bail conditions. Yes, He can still travel internationally for his tour, but his passport will be held by his lawyers when he's performing abroad, allowing him to complete his Breezy Bold tour across Europe and the US and Canada, but he got to retain his living quarters in the UK. But only thing he's only allowed to do is work, like a slave. So while he's technically restricted, he's not completely stuck. If you want to count touring, that's the only reason he's allowed to travel. He just has to follow strict conditions to keep his tour going. I would like to know why every time he has an album or something that's coming out, these obstacles and challenges just seems to fall on every tour or record release. Someone is purposely doing this to him. Someone is purposely stopping him from succeeding. They're literally, every time he have a tour, this falls into his lap. Some scandal falls into his lap. You come out with an album, some scandal falls into his lap. Someone is purposely trying to destroy this man's success, like me, basically. Someone is doing this. And there are prime suspects that's out there. There's Rihanna. There's Jay-Z, who apparently hates him because of Rihanna. Like, she's married, she's got kids now. What the fuck, dude? And you married, get a life. So that's that person. And whoever else he screwed over in the past, who the fuck knows? But someone is definitely trying to ruin this man's reputation. Seriously. Someone is definitely trying to do this to him. And it's really sad. He only let out to work, even though it cost him over $6 million fucking dollars. Pathetic. Whoever did this to him needs to just seriously pay. Now, Beyonce and Jay-Z's violent marriage. I need to retouch on this. Anyway, I bumped across some blind items the other day that turned out to be true on many occasions. Now, I have to admit, I wasn't too thrilled about this piece of information. Just want to point that out because I like Beyonce, believe it or not. I'm a fan. I just don't like Jay-Z. I think Jay-Z is horrible for her, and I really didn't like the fact that she even got with him. I thought that was terrible, because he's just using her. I just don't like Jay-Z. Anyway, during my deep exploration, I ran across an old incident. Now, you all have to understand, back in the day, there were several rumors of Jay-Z being very violent and cruel toward Beyonce. And Beyonce hiding it from her parents. I guess her parents were consumed with their problems, despite Tina making sure she's available for behind-the-scenes content or social media posts, apparently. But, I digress. Oh, I'm not done yet. Beyonce's first boyfriend, Lindell Locke, to whom she allegedly gave her virginity to before hooking up with Jay-Z. Hint, she made the best thing I never had song because of the fear of this rumor leaking. Jayonce, which is Beyonce and Jay-Z names mixed together. I call them Jayonce. They're always mocking / displaying their dirty, evil acts in their music videos. You all remember the bat, right? Right here. In Beyonce's Hold Up video. And the rumor of Jay-Z's mistress, Kathy White, being allegedly hit with the bat before her death. You remember that little piece of sweetheart information? Now, back to this Daily Mail post thing here, which said she was 13 years old based on the year Beyonce claimed she was born. By the way, she wasn't 13 years old. They were the same age, hence the prom picture. Here's the blind item and what it says verbatim. Now, just in case many of you didn't see my last live show, my last live video yesterday, I'm going to read the blind item again, okay? Yeah, of course they do. You know they do. Absolutely. And here's the blind item. Just a moment. Okay, here's what it says. If you ask the singer about the car, she would tell you it was the beginning of the end. It was like a movie, how cursed the car was. Our singer Beyonce, born in 1981, is permanently A-list. She's known all over the world, but would also tell you that the car was like making a deal with the devil. She would never be able to break. A few months before our singer turned 16, she was dating a guy named Liddell Locke, a few years older than her. They would go on dates and then hook up, although later in life she would deny this. Then she met a guy named Jay-Z, born in 1969, who was way much older, over a decade older. They have mutual friends, and she was told it would be good for her career to know this guy. They started talking, and he would come into town every few weeks. For her 16th birthday, he bought her a car, and that first day, he forced her to have sex with him in the car, so she would always remember it. When he came in town a few weeks later and saw her boyfriend driving it, he beat the boyfriend to within an inch of his life. He made our singer watch him beat the boyfriend and then made her watch him have sex with one of her best friends in the car too. He drove her to one of her first big shows in that car and then hit her afterwards in that car because she didn't show him enough respect in front of his friends and who were at the show. He then RA'd her in that car and didn't see her for nearly a year later. The first thing he did was ask about the car, and they went for a ride, and he told her she needed to sign to a certain record deal. He then RA'd her again in that car and said they would see a whole lot of each other. That night, she set the car on fire, but she is still with the guy. That person is Beyonce. And the person we're talking about is Jay-Z. And the other person, as you know, was Liddell Locke. Now, the car blowing up in that video, Crazy in Love with Jay-Z, was in honor of their alleged first time they had intercourse. And I guess a fresh start. You know, they always like to mock their evil deeds, you know, in their videos and songs. So yes, Jay-Z was allegedly violent and cruel back in the day. Not sure about now. I'm not sure if he's like that now. I guess this is why my videos are being flagged for review, which confirm who may be behind what's happening to my pages and platforms. Hence, when I started talking about them, my whole live show went on reset. And you guys saw it before your own eyes. This doesn't happen to everybody else's live show. Only happens to mine, which means none of this is probably real, which means views, whatever, is probably not real. Just want to point that out. However, I want to confirm what I mentioned in my last live show. And in this video by Jay-Z buying Beyonce her first car, because people were still trying to critique and try to say, no, this did not happen. He didn't buy her first car. This is a lie. Yada, yada, yada. She's the queen of the universe. Don't talk about her like that. She's the gods of our gods and goddesses of our gods. And, you know, we should honor her and bow down to her as she stated. That's what most people would probably like to say. They can kiss my ass. All right, just a second. Oh, gosh, I don't want my family to know about this. But they probably already fucking know. Anyway, in the video that I was talking about, however, I wanted to confirm what I mentioned in the last live show about Jay-Z buying her first car. When she was 16, as I just stated. Although some reports claim that she was 17 at the time. Later, they even attempted to change the narrative to say she was 25 years old, as you see here at the time. Okay, this situation validates that Jay-Z was involved with Beyonce when she was underage. As you can see here, same car model, same car model, same car model. Oh, yeah. Now, people say, oh, you know, Tina knows they won't allow her to mess with anyone older. Really? Let's think about that. Her parents didn't seem to mind, particularly Tina, who allowed Solange to marry a man 20 years older than her. So apparently, they don't give two flying fucks who these young girls, young women marry. So don't give me that malarkey about, oh my gosh, they won't allow her to be with some guy like this. Money talks, bullshit walks. Just want to point that out. So this also makes you wonder about the last case regarding Diddy and Jay-Z and that 13-year-old girl who said that Jay-Z RA'd her. Her and Diddy RA'd her back in 2000. Perhaps she was telling the truth. Jay-Z and Diddy do have a history of messing around with minors, hence Foxy Brown, Aaliyah, and no telling who else. They also have a history of intimidating, killing, and bribing their victims or witnesses to remain silent. Why do you think Lil' Kim, Mary J. Blige, Usher, Ja Rule, and many other artists haven't spoken out yet? Especially Lil' Kim. Lil' Kim was Cassie back in the day, under the hands of Biggie Smalls. Just ask Jermaine Dupri. He knows. But no one even, why isn't Lil' Kim even been brought up? She was getting hit and beaten and traded around like a rag doll, just like Cassie was. But she hasn't said shit. I understand these freaking artists, they literally see the truth finally coming out. Instead of them being brave like Kid Cudi, they in the back not saying shit. They don't like post this regarding Diddy. They are literally, I'm not saying anything. Mum's the word. Unfreaking bully. That means if you ever become famous, just stay off to yourself and only befriend people who's already been in your circle. Because anyone in Hollywood only temporary. They're fake as hell. It's like people in Hollywood are fake. Fake, fake, fake. So far I'm just saying fake, fake, fake. They only like you when your limelight is good. But when your limelight's not good, where the fuck are they? And when you're doing wrong, they don't say shit. Usher sing everything. He don't say shit. He sing beating, raping. He don't say shit. Just keep throwing money at this little puppet. He won't say shit. He do know enabling this behavior is also bad karma coming at you. So whatever. If it don't come at you, it's going to come at your kids. But whatever. Who cares? I'm going to go further, but I'll save that for another day. Now let's get back to the Diddy trial. As most of you, I'm sure most of you already heard, but I just want to say this before I continue on here. Remember I said in my last live show that Beyonce tickets weren't selling that well? Her tour wasn't selling that well. This proves again that they are the ones who's hacking my channel and potentially doing this, what they're doing right now, making sure no one sees this shit. You know, I don't know who's seeing it. I don't know who's viewing it. I don't even know why I keep getting posted in my private Facebook account, but whatever. I'm sure you guys have figured it out right now that Beyonce, Jay-Z, and their little cronies are literally watching, maybe not Beyonce, but Jay-Z and his cronies are literally closely watching this. Because soon as I came out with that information, someone had to verify how much money she made. You see this? Yeah. They had to say this. Beyonce has grossed $98 million from only 8 shows. She will be the first Black musician in history to gross $100 million with less than 10 shows. They had to say that. Word on the street that's seriously embellished. She has not grossed that amount in 8 shows. But who's going to check her? You gonna think she's going to show her checkbook? No, no one check. No, who cares? But in the midst of this Cowboy Carter tour that I'm so proud of her doing, I'm so glad she is doing, and I hope she is success. This is one thing that I would love to be wrong about is these numbers that they have just probably embellished. I hope they are true because we are getting to the root of country music. I always stood by her when it comes to making a revolutionary move like this. I applaud her. I have her album. I supported her. I would never go to her concerts, but I do commend her with this move. This is beautiful and brave on her part. I'm so proud of her doing this. Absolutely. So I hope these numbers are real. And it's really starting to stir feathers of some of the other country artists who are not liking her success, such as Carrie Underwood. Carrie Underwood has backed out of the summer largest country festival after hearing she'd be sharing the stage with Beyonce. She said, I'm simply a country girl, said Carrie. I don't do well around all those half-naked dancers with hats on pretending they're country. This is what she said. We're sad to see you go, Carrie, but we certainly understand why. So she said, I don't want to be on stage with Beyonce, who's faking like she's a country girl. Like Beyonce didn't grow up in freaking Texas. Beyonce has a really deep country accent that she has to improve when she's doing interviews because her accent is so deep and it make her sound kind of slow. She's very country. I do think she went a little far with those little cowboy pants, whatever. She could just dress normal, but she didn't wear that throughout entire freaking live performances. And Carrie just mad because she's not an entertainer. She's just a singer. And her dumbass missed an opportunity to amplify her star quality by teaming up with Beyonce. This is a stupid move for her. But you probably have the racist people going to probably jump on this bandwagon of racism and whatever the case may be, like they did in the comments of this damn post. Just want to point that out. Yeah. So just to let you know, Carrie Underwood is racist. And there's plenty of videos on TikTok to prove that Carrie Underwood is racist. Just want to point that out. Okay, and then we got Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi testified, as you know. He basically, just give you a brief summary here, and I'll show you videos. He basically admitted the abuse with Cassie. He also confirmed the kidnapping from Diddy. He also confirmed that Diddy blew up his car and robbed his house. The one thing I didn't like, he said he thought Cassie played them, but then again, later on, he kind of said that she was scared and trying to run away from Diddy. So it is what it is. This is him thanking everyone for his praise and things of that nature.
Hey guys, so I just want to say, man, I've been seeing all the love and support. I just want to say thank you so much, man. People have been hitting me up the past week, just checking in, and even today, and it really means a lot to me, man. You guys are the best. I love y'all. This is a stressful situation. I'm glad it's behind me, and yeah, I love y'all, man. Big love. Go stream Neverland.
There it is. I'm glad he told his truth and he didn't fall under pressure like some people we know. Yeah, like Justin Bieber. Lil' Kim haven't came out yet. All the rest of them, Audrey Day and her gazillion fucking excuses. Yeah, he didn't fall under pressure. And anyone else who pretty much witnessed atrocity that he was doing for years, they haven't said shit. Because they too busy worrying about their paper. I hope they paper keep them warm at night. Anyway, here's more videos here.
He done put that cigarette out, and now he's ready to testify. On the witness stand, Kid Cudi. Prosecution, we call Scott Miss Cudi, or as you guys know him as Kid Cudi. Prosecution continues and says, what do you do for work? Cudi, I'm an actor and a musician known as Kid Cudi. Prosecution, and who is this? Proceeds to show him a photo. He said, that's Cassie. Kid Cudi continues and says, we dated in 2011. Prosecution, who else was she involved with? Kid Cudi said, Sean Combs. Prosecution, and what did you know about their situation? Kid Cudi, that she and Sean Combs had some problems and that they weren't dating anymore. Prosecution, in December 2011, did law enforcement respond to your home? Kid Cudi says, yes, I had a break-in and Cassie called me around 5:36 a.m. She said that Sean Combs had found out about us and she asked me to pick her up. So I did. Yeah. Prosecution, why? Kid Cudi said she was worried. Prosecution, and what about her demeanor? Kid Cudi said, very stressed and worried. Prosecution, and where did you go? Kid Cudi said, the Sunset Marquee. Prosecution, why? Kid Cudi said, well, I thought it was safe and off the radar. Prosecution, and who else did you speak with? Kid Cudi said Capricorn Clark, and she sounded near tears. Prosecution, and what did she say? Kid Cudi responds and says that Sean Combs is in the car and near my house. And then this is when Sean Combs' defense attorneys yell, objection. Judge overrules it, and the prosecution steps in and says, and you called Sean Combs? Kid Cudi said, I did. He said, I'm over here waiting for you. Prosecution, when you arrived, what did the outside look like? Kid Cudi said, pretty normal. Prosecution, any security cameras? Kid Cudi says yes, but I found that they weren't working. Now I'm curious if they weren't working because he just failed to get them fixed or if it had anything to do with P. Diddy, but these are my own thoughts. Kid Cudi continues and said, but the security cameras have been moved. Prosecution, did you move them? Kid Cudi said no. Prosecution, and what did you see inside your home? Kid Cudi said gifts were open and some stuff I got from Chanel, and my dog was locked in the bathroom. Prosecution, how did you usually leave your dog? Kid Cudi said, I let him roam. Prosecution, how long had you had your dog? Kid Cudi said 3 years. Prosecution, what changes were behavior of your dog after the break-in? Kid Cudi said jittery and on edge all the time. Kid Cudi continues and says, I got back in and I called Sean Combs again. I was looking for him and I wanted to fight him, you know? And prosecution said, did he answer? Kid Cudi said, yeah. He said, I'm on the way. And I thought to myself, and this is when defense yells, objection. The judge asks on what grounds, and defense says, non-responsive. And then the judge said, overruled, get out of here, let the boy answer. Judge says, ask a new question. The prosecution says, when you saw Cassie, how did she seem? Kid Cudi said, depressed. Prosecution, did you see Cassie in Connecticut? Kid Cudi said, yes, and she needed it, like she needed to see him. Prosecution, did Mr. Combs call you? Kid Cudi says, yes, he hit me a few times. Prosecution, hit? Kid Cudi said, he called me. Prosecution, and what did you say? Kid Cudi said that I didn't want to talk to him. He broke into my house and he hurt my dog. Prosecution, did you and Miss Ventura break up? Kid Cudi says, yes. Prosecution, and what about your car? Kid Cudi said, my dog sitter called me and told me that my car was on fire. Prosecution, where were you? Kid Cudi said, at a relative of my ex-girlfriend. Prosecution, and where did you go? Kid Cudi said, to my house, and then here's the address. I don't want to say it out loud because I don't want TikTok to think we're doxing him. Prosecution, let me show you 6 pictures. Do you recognize? Kid Cudi says, yeah, my Porsche. Now Kid Cudi continues and says, that's the damage to my Porsche from a Molotov cocktail. Prosecution, and who took these photos? Kid Cudi said, Chip, a good friend and a collaborator. Prosecution, what's depicted here? And proceeds to show him another photo. Kid Cudi, the hole they cut in the roof of my car to put in the Molotov cocktail. You guys don't know what that is. It's just a handmade gasoline bomb. Prosecution, and what was your reaction when your car was set on fire? Kid Cudi said, what the fuck? Defense yells, objection. Judge says, overruled. We're taking a break. We'll be right back with more testimony from Kid Cudi after the break.
Kid Cudi said Diddy was like a Marvel supervillain. He got on the stand and told a wild story. December 2011, 5:30 in the morning, Cassie, who he's secretly dating, calls him and says, Diddy has found out about us. I'm freaked out. Come pick me up. He gets in the Porsche, picks her up, takes her to a hotel. When he gets to the hotel, his assistant calls. Diddy is in your house. He forced his way in. So Cudi's driving back to his house in the Hollywood Hills, and he calls Diddy, and he's like, motherfucker, are you in my house? And Puff says, I am here waiting for you. Like eerie calm, super villain calm. But while Cudi is driving back, Diddy unwraps Christmas presents that Cudi had for his family and locks his dog in the bathroom, traumatizing the dog. Diddy wasn't there when Cudi got back, but a few weeks later, Cudi's Porsche goes up in flames. On the stand, he blamed Diddy. Arson is among the predicate acts in the racketeering charge. Months later, they decide to get together to try to settle the beef. They decide to meet in a hotel, in a meeting room. Diddy is already there when Cudi walks in. And Cudi says on the stand, Diddy is looking out the window calmly with his hands behind his back, looking like a Marvel supervillain. He said Diddy's calmness was very off-putting. At the end of the meeting, Cudi said, so what are we going to do about my car? And Diddy said, what are you talking about? That really bothered Cudi, as you could imagine. This sort of vengeful, retaliatory action is part of what the government wants you to see as part of the coercion and the control and the violence he used to keep Cassie from... I mean, if you're asking Why didn't she just leave after she sees Cudi's car blow up?
This is crazy as hell. They need to do a movie about this and it'll be a freaking hit.
He done put that cigarette out, and now
a general manager at an LA hotel testifies against Diddy. The first question that they asked is who would book these rooms for Sean Combs? And the general manager claimed at first they were booked under the name Ryan Lopez and then other names. And then a couple years later, it would switch to Jackie Starr, which is the alias that we heard Cassie Ventura talk about in her testimony. They have the manager look at a particular reservation between 2011 to 2012, and they asked him, how much was he charged? And he testified that it was over $2,000, but it said only charge if Christina Korm approves. They also claim that there was a set of instructions on this reservation on how Diddy would like this room. He claimed that the reservation said that they wanted the room hot, about 75 degrees, and also put that the room was out of service for cleaning. They had the general manager look at some complaints, and he talked about one being a $500 charge for there being candle wax on the floor, and also the hotel security being called. And this is all the questions that the government had for him. And then they asked Diddy's team if they wanted to cross-examine, and they denied. So his testimony was pretty short and sweet. But y'all, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
And this supposed to go on for the rest of the fucking month. Seriously, we have to deal with this cockamamie story, this sad, horrific story, all goddamn month. I mean, just no. Hell to the no. It's too much. Too much. Anyway, I'm going off. Let me just see here. Yes, allegedly, I heard that she was definitely getting high from drugs. Yes. There was even a time I think I saw her actually look high as hell after coming in between her tour, her last tour. It looked like she was high as hell. But you know what? Beyonce want to stay with someone like that. That's whatever. Who am I to say? The money's good, apparently, and the fame is good. The name is brand. The brand is more important than her sanity and safety. But whatever. Who knows? Maybe he doesn't hit her anymore, and now it's in the past, and they have a nice, peaceful, loving relationship. I can't believe I just said that, but whatever. I'm out because ever since they reset my live show, what the fuck they doing my live show? Because it's showing that I'm on Wi-Fi and I'm not on Wi-Fi. So that's pretty strange. I am so done with this, you guys. Y'all have a wonderful night. Bye.